Hello, everyone. Welcome to Kudlow. I'm Larry Kudlow. Save America, kill the bill, and happy Friday, folks. You know, over the past week, Joe Biden's policy agenda has completely fallen apart. The CPI inflation, the CBO $5 trillion scorecard, then came the PPI price explosion, then came the import price explosion, then came statements from Senator Joe Manchin that he was simply not backing off on the inflationary impact of Biden's big government socialist bill, nor was he backing off on his demands opposing middle-class entitlements and the lack of work requirements or tough means testing eligibility. As I've said many times before, Mr. Manchin is the best inflation forecaster in the country, and he has been a great leader in general. In constant public statements, memos with Chuck Schumer, conversations with Joe Biden, Mr. Manchin has been completely consistent in his pursuit of a pause regarding any more budget spending, or for that matter, fossil fuel penalties and the need for workfare and means testing. And by the way, his support for the 40-year-old Hyde Amendment that prohibits federal funds to be used for abortion. He's hung tough on that as well. As the Wall Street Journal editorialized today, the Democrats have never taken Manchin seriously, but they should have. And as the dopey dopes on the Democrat far left and fellow travelers like these ABC tweeters, they keep blaming the downfall of the Biden agenda on one person, Joe Manchin. Reality is he's had plenty of help from Kyrsten Sinema, and I'll bet you Maggie Hassan in New Hampshire, Catherine Cortez Masto of Nevada, maybe even John Tester of Montana, and perhaps even Mark Kelly of Arizona, although Kelly has not given one single peep interview about anything, the major issue of the day. The guy hasn't even talked to a reporter, not even a local reporter. He's up for re-election, so he better be careful. But anyway, I'm just saying these other senators might well have joined Manchin in a no vote. And oh, by the way, the Republicans are there, and that means 52 votes and maybe as much as 56 votes could have gone Manchin's way or the country's way. And that's forced President Biden to finally say uncle and pause the bill well into next year. My point here is whether it's inflationary spending, record high tax rates, the assault on fossil fuels, the rise of gasoline and other energy prices, the entitlement state, the outrageous woke social policies that keep parents out of their kids' schools, keep families out of raising their children, keep the southern border open, attempting amnesty and welfare assistance for illegals. All that was denied by the Senate parliamentarian. Attempts to end the traditional Senate filibuster that protects minority rights also defeated, as the country does not want Washington to federalize elections or forbid voter ID or prolong mail-in ballots with their destructive harvesting. Then you have the defunding of the police, no cash bail, saying yes to smash and grab looting, mesmerizing the whole country with a barrage of racist attacks, and of course the fact-free argument about climate's existential threat on the economy. It's nonsense. Former communists who hate the American system nominated to run our banks, a potential Federal Reserve vice chair who won't tell us whether she's a capitalist or a socialist. All this has gone down the drain of the Biden agenda. He is the most unpopular politician in decades. And his VP is even worse. Yes, his infrastructure bill passed, but that was more about the Green New Deal than infrastructure. And yes, his one-vote passage of last winter's so-called relief bill, that passed, but it triggered massive inflation. Right now, there is not one area where the public agrees with Biden. That, according to poll after poll, on the liberal side and the conservative side. Not a single area. His COVID mandates have been ruled illegal by the courts and hated by people in business. By the way, COVID cases in New York are rising at record rates. Masking 5-year-old kids is both harmful and stupid. And his catastrophic cut-and-run defeat in Afghanistan has brought the U.S. to the brink of crisis in foreign policy areas such as China threatening to invade Ukraine and China moving to, such as Russia, I beg your pardon, threatening to invade Ukraine, and China moving towards Taiwan. In 1 year, a strong America first has turned into American weakness. Pessimism has replaced optimism. Big government socialism threatens free enterprise capitalism. Punishing success threatens to replace rewarding success. Biden's far-left progressive woke attack has attempted to transform our economy, subvert our culture, place government in charge of virtually every nook and cranny of our nation's affairs. But here's the really good news. With a week before Christmas, the voters have rebelled from and rejected Biden's assault on our values and our principles. Americans want freedom. Americans want democracy. They're just saying no to Mr. Biden's far-left fantasies. That's the really good news here in the Christmas holiday season. Folks, save America. Kill the bill.